Did you know drowning can happen in only 2 inches of water? You read that over and over when you're reading your, soon to be parenting books. You're warned that a child can drown in the sink, in a bathtub, in a kiddie pool. And you know what? It's ironic because our life starts in fluid but can end in the shallows. Off the bat, this book starts with a woman drowning. She's being held underwater, the bubbles, she can't breathe, she has sand in her mouth, and she just knows her life is slipping away from her. She can't hold it any longer. She can't hold her breath any longer, and she is going to, and that's how it starts off. So it starts off with like this, like, oh my gosh, she's dead. Oh, but the name of the book, let's get back to that. So we need to tell us, the book title. So it's called One Little Secret, and it's by Cate Holahan. This is the first book I have read from this author. And I have to tell you, I did enjoy this book, but I guess we'll get to the reviews a little bit later. Our cast of characters, there is Gabby. She is the police sergeant, newly appointed, so of course she's trying to like prove her worth as a woman and being a sergeant. I had to write the other ones down because honestly, when I was reading, I couldn't keep the couple straight, okay? So let's start back to the beginning. There is 3 couples and they drop their children off at summer camp. So they're all going to summer camp, and these couples, they're all neighbors, and they thought it would be a good idea to get to know each other better, and they rented a beach house. But they're all, they're like from the Hamptons, and they all have cushy jobs. Okay, so back to their list of characters. There was Gabby, the police sergeant. Then there's Jenny and Lewis. Jenny is actually a news anchor, and her husband Lewis is a doctor. There is Rachel and Ben. Rachel is a lawyer, and Ben is kind of like a stay-at-home dad. He's like an author. There's also Susan and her husband Nadell. I think that's how you say it. That's how I pronounced it anyways. So they're all, oh, and Susan's an ex-lawyer. She stays home with her 2 kids, her 2 boys. And Nadell, her husband, is like the startup. He has a startup company, and it's supposed to be making like, it's projected to like do really, really good. Like he's gonna be like legit. And so these couples, they rent a beach house, and you know what, right off the bat, it's not a good idea. They do not get along. Husband and wife don't get along. There's some tension between neighbors. It's, right off the bat, right when they get to this beach house, it's like downhill fast. So the first night, there's already tension, and we find out that some of these neighbors, supposedly they don't really know each other, and that's why they got together. But as soon as we get there, there's tension, there's kind of like some bickering, and there's of course a love triangle. Because what kind of book wouldn't be a book without a love triangle, right? Which is kind of funny because supposedly they don't know each other, but there's some that do. Find there is domestic violence. One of this couples, it's kind of shocking to read. Like, it kind of makes me really sad for her. So one of the couples is very volatile, and of course it's the one you wouldn't think, and that's what kind of leads into, is it this person that's who's committed this murder? And it really takes you on a journey of who did it, who is capable of doing it, and who is basically pushed to the point of keeping secrets. Everyone in that house had a secret, but Was it worth dying for? Was it? So there's kind of a story within a story also. We start off, Sergeant Gabby, she's also trying to figure out, there was kind of like this girl went to a party, okay, and she thinks there was some like date rape type drugs involved. And so while she's trying to solve this, she's also trying to solve this murder. And the reason, which I'll just tell you right now, I gave this book a 3 because I didn't really feel this other part of the book, this story within a story, really was necessary. Like, it kind of bugged me. So I gave it a 3, but so Sergeant Gabby's trying to solve this other little mystery. And I guess it ties in to the overall story, but not really. Back to the main story. I'm not going to really go into that other story because it really wasn't necessary. So Gabby is trying to solve this murder, but of course everyone that was at the house tell her they were asleep when it happened. Like, they don't know. They do know one of the husbands, the person that was murdered, they had a fight with their husband, and she ran off, and supposedly they all went to bed. Because that sounds normal, right? Okay, hold up, just real fast. Purple eyeliner. Hello, yes please. Okay, back to the story. So in the book, I feel like it has enough twists and turns. I can't talk and do the lips at the same time. Hold on. Anyways, it has enough twists and turns to really keep you entertained. I feel like it's a good page turner. There's not too much bad language. A good plot to the story without revealing too much. So, like I said, I gave it a 3. Goodreads gave it a 3.56. It's definitely worth your time. It would be a good beach read. It's a quick read. And I think you'll be really surprised who the murderer is in the end. I love when it has those final twists and you're like, oh my gosh. So give it a read. Hit like and share. Thank you for joining me. I hope you loved this review and I hope you loved this look. How fun are these scarves? Everyone needs one for the summer. Like, share, and thank you for joining me this week for looks and